Hey, wherever you are in the world today, I welcome you to another 30 minutes of soulful living here at Empower Radio. A week or so ago, I was having a conversation with Jesswein of Intuitive You, and this whole crazy COVID thing is inspiring us to get more creative. And we were talking about some of the things that we're doing and decided that we should be doing this. So here we are today with a conversation, hopefully inspiring at least one of you, but maybe all of you. So welcome to Soulful Living, Lisa.
Thank you, Teri. You look wonderful.
Oh, thanks. In my freezing head bandana because it's so cold here still.
I know. Is it really the end of May? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. My mom is she's in a facility and we can't see her. So we stand outside, rain, hail, sleet, snow, just like the post office. And I was standing outside before I got on the show. And I'm all about being real. So here we are.
That's good, girl. I was just telling Remy, the producer, that for the first time in a long time, I put clothes on that don't have stretch to them. So I'm okay. I'm full. This is good. I like it.
Well, good. I still have stretch. I don't know if you're watching any of John Krasinski's Some Good News, but it only shows the top half.
Oh
And
my,
then every once in a while they show the bottom half, and I'm living in stretch. That's my next, that's what I'm doing forever now.
love it.
I like it. So
I love
what's going on with you? How are you doing through all of this?
I'm actually doing very well. I started posting little, card a day type of video messages on my Intuitive You Facebook page. And I started doing this because I thought, let's just see what the universe has for us as far as messages that could help inspire us or get us going or get us in the right direction. So I started doing a little bit of that out of the fact that I wanted to connect with people as well as get a message. And I sometimes add in some humor. Usually there's always humor attached to it. And okay, I gotta tell Karen from Will and Grace decided to show up. And I had Lisa as Karen. So I'll do just a little bit for you. Just a little bit, okay? Is that all right if she butts in?
Awesome.
Okay. Hi, Teri. Hi, honey. How are you? Oh my God. What to see? You wear that headband really. Who the hell did this? This isn't vodka. Oh my God. Okay. Bye-bye, poodle. All right.
That was great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that was one of the big ways is I learned about laughter being the best thing for me right now to keep at bay the fear and anxiety, when that comes up, because that can take over. However, I also talked one time about making sure that if you're having a day, have a day.
Yeah.
Just go ahead. If there's a day you feel like curling up on the couch, crying, sitting there, whatever it is, go ahead, allow yourself those feelings, and then try and laugh. Trying to do a little bit of that to bring yourself up out of the hole. Because I also told him I do not feel fear, but I'm being very careful with what I do. I just choose not to use that as an emotion that's up front. But I'm being very respectful of what's being asked for us to do. So,
yeah, it's funny because somebody early on in all of this, I love the saying, "What you focus on multiplies," and somebody in early on in all of this had said to me, "Well, you're obviously bringing some stuff in," and I'm like, "What the? Who are you talking to?" Right? Because I, like you, am so about the positive and staying focused in the direction that I want to be, or that I see myself, or that I want in my space. Um, I also, though, allow myself to feel that stuff. It's really important to, like you said, if you want to curl up on the couch, curl up on the couch. Um, and my husband, he happened to be going to work every day in an environment where COVID was at. So he and I both got it. And what really got me through all of that was that positive mindset. And what I do focus on is meditation and cards and messages and candles and anything else that kept that fear
Mm-hmm.
at bay. One night during what I would say like my worst experience with this, I found myself going down that rabbit hole of fear. You know, what if I don't breathe? I don't want to go to the hospital, blah, 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 blah. And I turned on a meditation by someone that's going to be on in a few weeks. And that's really what got me through it. So, yeah, I mean, we have to feel it, but we don't have to stay in it.
Right. You can dip your toe in the water, just don't swim in it a long time.
Yeah, because otherwise, then you're going down the wrong stream
Yeah. And
or
it,
fighting upstream, whatever it is.
and I said this on a video I did, please, as best as you can, stay away from engaging in negative, heavy fights with people, especially social media, especially, I understand about staying in tune with what's happening in the world, but if you digest the news 24/7 all day long, you're going to get an upset stomach.
Yeah, and a lot of nightmares.
Yeah. And a lot of that. I'm not suggesting that we stick our head in the sand and we don't know what's going on. I'm saying just limit it. Limit it. And you know that if you engage in some sort of argument online, you're not going to win. They're not going to change their mind, and they're not going to change your mind. So
No.
what's what's the point of getting into arguments? So we just have to make best with the time that is here and now. And it is there's this moment where you're like, okay, so when I go back out there and I go back to that job, or I go back to that relationship, or I go back to what I was doing, am I going to be happy? Am I going to feel fulfilled? We have been given an opportunity. And I know some people are saying, well, I don't want this opportunity. Yeah, I get it. A lot of us didn't, but it's here. It's now. There's no way to go around it, under it. We got to go straight through it and figure out, are we going to be happy on the other side? So if we need to get ready to make those changes, start planning right now. Start writing lists. What are you going to change your plan at work, or about your relationship, or about your relationship with yourself? Because this is a great time to start thinking of those things.
Mm-hmm. Are you so are you able to work with some of the students that you've been teaching and teach some intuitive processing for people through all of this, like through Zoom or FaceTime, anything like that?
Oh, yeah. So at first, when all this came down, which was really interesting, I was just from coming and doing a workshop in Florida, and literally flew in from Florida and the Q pandemic. And I was like, whoo, wow, that's crazy. And then all of a sudden I went, wait a minute. I don't like doing readings by Zoom or by phone, I like one-on-one contact. And I became very like, want to dig my heels in, and I got angry. And then I went, okay, people still need help. People still need direction. Let's see what I can do. And I tried everything from a Wi-Fi booster to getting a new modem, to do everything that I needed to do, because I didn't want to give myself excuses. I said, what can I do to get this up and running to the best of its ability? And that's what I was able to do, was just readings right now. So there's been no workshops or anything like a group type thing, but I have been trying to do the card a day on my Intuitive You Facebook page. That'll come up and you can watch it there. Just get a little inspiration. And then eventually down the line, hopefully we'll be able to gather in groups of, hopefully at least 10 or something. And if that's the case, Teri, I was actually thinking about your space again, and how it would be for just a small group, and doing that. But yes, I have been able to help people and do readings, whether it's phone or Zoom or FaceTime.
That's awesome, because listeners, I'm having a conversation with Lisa Jesswein. Lisa also has a show here on Empower Radio, and you don't have a website right now, do you? Or do you use Facebook as your website?
Yep, I just use the Intuitive You Facebook page as a website.
Okay, good. So one of the things that you keep hearing you talk about is the Oracle cards. And what are some of the decks that you're using? Do you have a particular favorite?
I do. I have all my children sitting right next to me here. So I will bring them apart. This is actually my very first deck. This is called a Rider-Waite tarot deck. Okay, so just a regular tarot deck. I've had this forever. I keep it in this lovely little box right here. And this is the one I started using. When I started moving into oracle decks, because this is a tarot deck, when I move into oracle decks, two of my favorites are by Colette Baron-Reid. And so there's the Wisdom of the Hidden Realms and Wisdom of Avalon. Doreen Virtue, even though she sort of no longer does this type of stuff, she has a wonderful fairy deck and also angel decks as well. That's a big deal. And then Colette just came up with her animal spirit one, which I love. Let's draw one right now. Can we?
Of course.
All right.
You know, I'm all down for that. And I love Colette.
Oh, I love Colette. She's my favorite as far as decks go. So she's a good one to look into. All right, here we go. Now what's going to happen is I'm just moving these back and forth. And whenever Teri says stop, I'm going to stop. And whichever one's on top, that's what we're going to look at.
Stop.
All right, here we go. Oh, I love this. You actually got the electric eel. And the eel, this is like getting that surge of power and energy that allows you to bring your ideas to life. That's literally what this card means. The energy to bring your ideas to life. So remember back when we were talking about, setting up a list of how is my life going to change? What would I want to change? Then this is the energy and the power to make it happen. Okay. I love this. It's like whatever those ideas are that are running around in your head right now. Do them. Electric eel. No, it doesn't mean you're going to be electrocuted. Someone said that to me once when I pulled the eel card to them. I was like, "Oh, where did you get that from?" No, not at all. Go ahead.
Well, what I see too with that electric eel is that they're electrifying. They're shining that light, and how could you not use that for part of your creative essence? Kind of knowing that creativity is just a spark, and it's just going to continue to electrify. Very cool. Well, pull one for you.
For me, just for me. Okay. Well, I want to do this for an outward. I want to do this for everybody. Can we do that? Can we just draw a regular, what the universe needs to tell us right now? Stop. And I did. And here we go. Oh, hey. Oh, I laugh at this. We actually got the bobcat. And the bobcat is funny because this is all about the mystery of life. This is all about sort of going along with the wave of the mystery of life and not fully seeing the end where we're going, but understanding that it can be joyful even in the unknown. How perfect is that, Teri?
For sure, right? I mean, we don't know anything about anything that's coming next, right? Where we're at now, this is like the universe's big way of saying just stop, because we don't know what's coming next.
No, and it's okay to plan and it's okay to dream. It's a really big time to think of, if I had my way and I could plot myself down doing something, what would it be? What would I be doing? Another really good one too is I sometimes use my Rune Stones. Rune Stones, love the runes. If you guys have never seen Rune Stones before, kind of look like this. They have little glyphs on them, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my hand in here. Usually it's the left hand closest to your heart. And I'm going to shake it up. I'm going to pull one out, lay it down in front of me. Oh, all right. So because I've used these before, this one is called Gateway. Okay. Yeah, no kidding. Someone goes, when can we kick open the gate and go out the gate? I know that's what someone's thinking right now. And of course, when I need to find what page it's on really fast, I can't. There it is. All right, here we go, people. This rune indicates there is work to be done both inside and outside yourself. It represents the frontier between heaven and the mundane. Arriving here is a recognition of your readiness to contact the divine, to illuminate your experience so that its meaning shines through in this form. This is a rune of non-action, which is funny because it goes along with us having to sort of like be right here, but it is a gateway not to be approached and passed through without contemplation. Here you are being confronted with a clear reflection of what is hidden in yourself, what must be exposed and examined before right action can be undertaken.
Wow.
Love, love, love.
Wow, that is really powerful. So, in my own life, for the last few years, I feel like I've been doing what's called a life review. You know, a lot of people think when you go to the other side, you're going to do this life review. And for me personally, I feel like I'm living my life review. All the muck and the stuff that I've experienced throughout my entire life, particularly the not so pleasant things, some of which I've done myself, right? I'm human. I know I've done some, I was going to say the S word, but some things to people that probably weren't deemed kind, right? So I've been doing this life review. And when you were pulling that card and you're talking about gateway, and I was thinking about this is kind of an opportunity for everybody to really contemplate something and either, you know, let it go or find peace with it or whatever, so that it kind of clears the way, like you just read, so that it clears the way for what's next. And there's so many different ideas out there about what this time is offering us as far as opportunity. But, you know, for me, I look at it as personal opportunity because we're forced to be personal with just ourselves, right? So I love that card. I absolutely love that that's a card that came out. I don't know enough about runes,
Yeah.
but I really love that that came up and that it provides an opportunity for people to kind of do that. So, what is like one way that you, intuitive you, Lisa, would would suggest people do that? You know, how can they go about taking those things that have been really uncomfortable and dealing with them at this time before they move on?
Okay, so the biggest thing is attitude. The biggest thing that you need to work on is attitude and how you approach things. Okay. And I'm going to start with that because here's a quick example. Here I am on unpaid leave. I can't get out of my house and a pipe ruptured. I literally had a huge piece of equipment in my backyard digging up a huge hole to the tune of several thousands worth of $7,000. And in that moment, I stopped myself and I put my hand on my heart and I put one down here and I took a deep breath in and I was out and I said, I can breathe. And I said that was literally when he told me how much it was going to cost. And so after I did that, I said, everything else will take care of itself. If I have to take out a loan, I take out a loan, but I can breathe. And I have a roof over my head. And I have family and friends who care. So the being able to check your attitude and put it in perspective when something big is coming at you, whether it's a large bill, whether it's the fear of not knowing what to do with your life. And by the way, that is just a cop out. We all know what to do with our life. If we really get honest, you know something's pulling you and you've been fearful and you've not wanted to go there either because you think you can't do it financially or someone told you can't do it or that it's a crazy pipe dream. But this is the time when you are supposed to go to it. So when you do this and you can breathe, it means you have the joy and the privilege to go after what you want. That is the big, no matter what happens. So I'm still dealing with the after effects of that, but I can breathe and I get to talk to my family and I get to talk to my good friends. And I have the ability that I have a nice computer and a nice home and I can still connect with people. So I think the biggest thing is just check your attitude. Check your attitude and pull yourself up and put on your big girl, big boy pants and get out into this world. And I mean that from the aspect of what are you being pulled to do, not pushed to do. What are you being pulled to do, no matter how scary it is? I mean, is this kind of what you're thinking, Teri?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really funny that you brought up to put your hand on your heart and your abdomen. My daughter texted me a couple days ago and she said, "Hey, so and so is in a really stressful situation. They love your feed and they want to know one thing, one thing they can do right now." And I forgot about it. And then she texted me at like, I don't know, 10 o'clock at night. And she said, "Hey, what's that one thing?" And I'm like, "Oh, I got it." So I just made her a video and I said, just put your hand on your heart. Just put your hand on your heart because everything that you're frustrated about, you are equally as connected to your joy, to your love, to your dream, like you just brought up, right?
Oh,
I said,
absolutely.
you're equally connected to that dream. And don't let yourself be afraid of it and that you're connected to that. So
Mhm.
I love that. And absolutely, yes, that's what I was thinking about because what a great opportunity right now people have to think about their dream, to think about what has pulled them. And going back to the beginning of our conversation, not letting the fear suck them down anymore.
No, and so you might be thinking, well, I really don't know how to get out of it. I need somebody to pull me out of it. Here's here's a really simple thing that everyone has access to, at least most people. Y'all have smartphones, right? So you go to YouTube and you type in motivation, and or you type in inspiration, or you type in meditation. And when you do, you are going to see video after video after video come up of people who can help you through this. There's a really great Motiversity, which is like motivational things, and it's all these different speakers. And I turn that on in the morning, and it's a compilation of all of these the best parts of different speeches, of really great thinkers and entrepreneurs and spiritual people. So go ahead and find something, because sometimes people need something tangible, like I need someone talking to me, I need to feel that. And so if that's what you need, great. Maybe you just need some binaural beats or some sort of energy that has to do with wind chimes or whatever it is. Look it up on something as simple as YouTube and find out what's on there and see who you vibe with. Okay, that's the part that I think people, you have the access to something right now that can raise your vibration and raise your energy. Hand on the heart, here on the solar plexus. And if you need music or you need someone talking to you, either turn on Empower Radio like you do with Teri right now, or go ahead and try some YouTube videos as well.
I love that. Well, and they can use Oracle decks. Like I'm looking around at all of my Oracle decks, but
Yes.
we talked about Colette Baron-Reed,
Mhm.
and you can go to her websites, and she has free card draws. So if listeners, if you don't have a deck or you don't even know what the heck they are, you can go to Colette Baron-Reed's websites and you can literally draw a card online.
Mhm.
It's super easy. And I know that, you get a lot of inspiration from those cards, Lisa. Me too. Like I look around, I probably have 50 decks. People send me decks. I buy decks. People gift me decks. I love decks. But I also love the ability to be able to go online and draw them because sometimes I'm in a funk and I'll be sitting in my car or outside my mom's window and I just need something. So I'll just go on an app and
Mhm.
draw a card. So those are, I mean, you have some really amazing ways here to help yourselves connect and jump outside of it. I love that you said Google because there's, what was it you called it?
YouTube. You Google it and you go to YouTube. It was Motiversity, like motivate.
Motiversity. I love that.
It's a great YouTube channel. So if anyone wants to go to that, it really does inspire me. And sometimes, like I said, I listen to spiritual people or whatever. You can plug in any name, anything, any word, like I said, motivation, inspiration, whatever, and watch the videos pop up and then find one that fits you.
You know what else I love about that? I love that that you didn't really tell people to connect with you first, right? You did not even do shameless self promotion. And I think that was so beautiful. I thank you for that because I'm going to tell everybody to connect with you,
Thanks.
right? Really, you said earlier you have some amazing videos, that you've been offering insight on your Facebook page, which is Intuitive You, YOU, correct?
Correct. Correct.
Yeah, and I think that's really great. So thank you for doing that, because you totally could shamelessly promote yourself anytime with me.
You're so sweet. Thank you, Teri. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so we have about a minute or so left. And listeners, I just want to remind you that you're listening to Soulful Living on Empower Radio. My guest today is Lisa Jesswein. You can find her on Facebook at Intuitive You. And I know we've really given some great ideas here, but I love the guests, my guests. It's weird being on video here. I'm trying to, get not too distracted by seeing your face. But I would love for you to leave the listeners with something they can take out into the day that they can do right now, right this second, as soon as they're off listening to this, to help inspire their lives, uplift their lives, maybe raise their intuition personally on some level. So what would that be?
I'm just going to start by I just want to say this to everybody listening. You matter and you can do this. Just take those words. You matter and you can do this.
That's awesome. We can do this. We can do this, each and every one of us. That makes me feel weepy. All right, I love you. Thank you so much for being here with me today, and let's do it again.
All right.